We're live. I've got the chat open just in case. I didn't even announce it though, because I just want to work and grind. Thanks, SK. Evening, Jason. How's it going? We need to pull up our evidence. We're not doing music tonight because too many people complained about it. So I just got my headphones in instead. Hopefully it's not too loud. We'll probably start the Edward C. Lynn stuff with the psychological profile. What's up, Nathan? Yeah, we're chilling. We're gonna try to get some of this stuff done. I gotta get this done by like tomorrow, and I'm really busy tomorrow too, so we got a lot of work to do. Strongest evidence. may jump around a little bit while I'm filling this stuff out. Yeah, the evidence list is pretty damn long. My line of work stays the same. I'm in IT. I think I've mentioned before, I work in healthcare. I've worked in healthcare my whole life. Yeah, we're not doing music tonight. Big poo. I got too many comments about people complaining about music. I'm listening to music though, just you guys can't hear it. Hey, DC Disclosure team. What's up, Grandmaster UV? Glad to have you here. I had some quote about a captain saying you couldn't disconnect the electrical generators. I'm going to change it, I think, though. I think we will keep this. Sorry. One of my family members has a question. What's that, guys? Phil Schneider. Wasn't he the one who was talking about DUMBs and stuff like that? The deep underground bases? Phil Schneider? I've watched his interview before. Yeah, Nathan, you're a little over my head. Honestly, I wish I was better with the science stuff. It's kind of embarrassing that I'm not. Public repository right now, my Twitter. I've archived everything. So it's all there in Twitter. I guess I'll give you guys some free healthcare advice. One of my family members is asking. So if you ever have to go to the emergency room and you don't have insurance, they will bill you at the maximum rate. Insurance companies don't pay maximum rate. So if you ever do have an emergency, you don't have insurance, like many people don't, at least in the United States, you should call the like the payments department, the billing department, and you should negotiate with them. They'd rather get something than nothing. So a lot of people don't realize that. Yeah, I'll probably be streaming a little bit more. I'll stream again tomorrow night, but I've got to get to sleep early tomorrow, which is why I'm trying to grind this as much of this out as I can before I pass out tonight. I'm already super tired. I was watching a lot more of these videos. I may pull this one up again where you guys can listen to again, because this is just the craziest freaking thing, man. I can't believe this, dude. Where is it? Couldn't believe this Malaysian defense minister guy. Absolutely wild, man. I'll put it like over here.
Minister, when did you become aware that MH370 was missing?
Sometime that morning.
Tell me if it's too loud. I'm not
What
listening
time?
to it.
Does it matter?
In a storytelling sense, yes.
Yeah.
This guy's,
But again, the timeline
this guy's reaction
will
just
show.
defensive immediately.
And I think
Can't help
when
but
the inquiries
actually
actually
than this guy.
take place,
This guy is
do you
just a
really
really
think
bad
that Malaysia
liar.
can hide
This question.
the way things have unfolded?
Of course not.
No.
But that
So
isn't
why don't we?
this is not a controversial question.
Sure, it's not.
When you found out.
And basically, we're trying to coordinate 26 countries for a search. Now, working into a deep sea search as we talk today, the last thing on my mind is trying to figure out what time that I got that information.
Well, I'll put it to you like this. In a storytelling sense for a documentary,
Right.
take us back to that day, March the
Right.
8th.
He's so
How were
defensive.
you informed that the plane had disappeared?
There were phone calls, the DCA, and I'm in a way quite fortunate that I'm also the Minister of Defense. I think no one out there is holding two portfolios. This is divine. And I had calls from the Air Force, so many lines of communication. And it happened. You have to understand, you know what time it happened? You have to also understand where it happened. It was at the time in which they moved into Vietnamese airspace. There was a period of time that we were really trying to figure out, really, between MAS, the DCA, the military, getting information to the Prime Minister, me as putting my hat on as the acting Minister of Transport, and then dealing with the military in that respect. So there were many ways in which information was coming in. But for personally, on my part, like anybody else, this information has got to be digested. We have to look at it calmly.
So were you aware that it was missing before it was due to land at 6:30?
Sorry?
Were you aware that MH370 was missing before it was due to land?
Yes. There was an indication that they were not in the radar. You know, there was no more communication. We had to confirm with the Vietnamese authorities. Then we had to get the militaries activated. Then we have to get MAS to verify and corroborate. And then we have to get all those countries involved on board.
Did Air Traffic Control try and contact MH370 that morning?
I'm sure they did, but I think I cannot today confirm one way or the other, because unless I have it in front of me today, that sort of questions are so detailed that I do not want to be cornered and be misquoted.
Air Traffic Control, as we understand it, knew that MH370 wasn't responding to radio calls, etc., from around 1:32 a.m.
Yes.
4.5 hours passed.
Right.
What happened in those 4.5 hours from the Malaysian perspective to try and locate the plane?
Well, I think that I want to know too. And
you don't know?
Of course, I've heard stories from and reports from all sources, but based on other speculation and based on doubts, I want to be sure, being the minister responsible, what comes out there is credible and is corroborated and it is verified. Now, if there are areas that we can learn from this, I'll be the first to admit it.
Well, you are the one who can verify and corroborate, and that is why I'm sitting with you today.
And I will answer with the panel of experts, because they will be asking not speculative questions. They will be asking whether standard operating procedures have been followed, international standards of civil aviation codes have been followed, and that will come up.
Will you confirm
and
whether...
I'm quite confident of that.
Will you confirm how many times DCA and Air Traffic Control tried to contact MH370?
Well, you have to actually get the DCA to do it, not today. I mean, if you give me time to find out. Because I'm not, these questions were not given to me in advance. You know, there are 1,000,001 questions out there that have been so detailed. I don't think we can answer it all in this interview that we have today. I'm not being defensive. I've got nothing really to avoid, because what we have done since the beginning, everybody actually that I've spoken to, including leaders from nations that have got a longer history of aviation history, and said that this is something that is baffling to all.
Baffling, yes. You as Minister for Defence then, and this should not be controversial, and this is really a key point here, and it was in my list of questions. MH370 flew through multiple military radar zones.
Right.
Did the Malaysian military detect MH370 in real time?
We detected an airline, but I think we've gone on record to say that
nothing high, but
it was
won't answer
not
your questions.
identified at that time as MH370.
But an aircraft unidentified was detected that morning?
That came out. I've said that at the beginning, and I think that's confirmed by the Prime Minister too.
What did the military do when it was detected?
Well, I mean, it is an airline that came from our airspace. It's a commercial airline, and the military actually said that they didn't consider it as a hostile aircraft.
Why? What were they relying on to come to the conclusion that it wasn't hostile?
Well, that's a call by the officer that was in charge of it. And like I said earlier, there was an inquiry under the Royal Military Air Force. That will come out too.
So who was on duty? How many people?
Well, I mean, these sort of questions, like I said, is not going to get us very far.
Well, what we're trying to understand is
I don't understand
the level of knowledge
I understand
and surveillance.
Right, but you need the experts. You know, like I said, we are talking about going through multiple countries' military airspace, you need to talk to every single country out there about their military capability. That's the line of questioning that you want to ask about Malaysia. What is more important is for us to actually understand how we looked at moving from the South China Sea to the Straits of Malacca, what happened, and can we just agree that those sort of details are going to come out anyway. I don't think it's so controversial that it's going to be something that will impact so much on what we are investigating.
In hindsight, is that unfortunate that the decision was made, it wasn't hostile?
Well, it's not for me to judge, you know. I mean, do you want, we didn't go through a situation like the September 11th. Americans were not prepared then. And it took 2 planes to crash into 2 twin towers, Pentagon, and on the way to Washington, for them to have the present SOP. We are not at war with anybody right now. So do you really think that I want to put our Sukhois on high alert with special SOPs in that kind of situation?
But why not send the jets up if you have conceded earlier that you knew very early in the morning the plane was missing? There was 4.5 hours time in which to respond and find out.
It was not hostile, it was commercial, it was from our airspace, we're not at war with anybody.
If they did go up, in hindsight, would you agree that we wouldn't be in the situation we are now, which is
I don't
7
think
weeks of
so.
searching
I don't think that's
and billions of
speculative.
dollars?
Even if we send it back, are you going to say that we're going to shoot it down?
Well, you said that, not me.
No, I'm asking you.
I could not
So
possibly
what's
answer
the,
that. I'm
if
not
you're
a
not going
Minister of
to
Defence.
shoot it down, what's the point of sending it up?
To see where it's going.
Well, to see it going, you need a fighter for that? If you're talking about military procedures. And if I did shoot it down, you'll be the first to say, how can you shoot down a commercial airline with 14 nationals, half of them Chinese? I'll be in a worse position probably.
Why shoot it down, though, if it's not hostile?
Well, the Americans would.
Did DCA contact the military that morning?
Yes, they did.
What time?
You have to ask the DCA. And it will come out, the details. I think this the dates, because I do not want to be trapped by, from my experience in the last 4 weeks, by dates, by numbers, by names, by rank.
An approximation.
Well, we'll give you the details, Carol, if you want. I can get confirmation. We'll give you the details for your documentary.
It has been reported,
And once
obviously.
it is confirmed by DCA, once it's been verified, I don't think this is something that I can confirm it today because I don't have it in front of me. But we'll give it to you before your documentary airs.
I'm not asking for an exact time. I'm asking now, during this interview, at around what time did the DCA contact the military and alert the military that there was a plane missing?
I'll confirm that. I don't have the details with me today.
Was it before 6:30 a.m.?
I'll confirm that too, because I do not want to say something and then on record and then find out to be not the case.
That 9/11 line.
Do you agree that the military detected MH370 in real time?
They detected an aircraft,
Thanks, New Order.
a commercial aircraft.
What did the radar show?
Moving around. Like,
It showed an aircraft that was commercial. That's it. It's a blip.
What
Because I
did
have
the
to-
radar data show, though? Let's discuss altitude. What altitude was it flying at?
I don't, like I said, having the details of the altitude and what was more important.
Did it reach 45,000
But
feet?
what is more important, right, is to make sure, as I said from the beginning, to find the aircraft, right?
We
So
need to stick with the facts at hand there. This is a very simple factual question. Did it
There's
reach
n-
45,000 feet?
Well, what the military radar was coming out, I said the military have done an inquiry on this. We're having the panel
Minister,
of experts.
why won't you answer that question? Why
Because I
won't
don't
you
have
answer-
it. I don't have
You
it.
don't know what
I
altitude the
know
plane
there are
reached.
many information that's come out, but what I need to say today will depend very much on the structure and how we're going to move forward. I have a plan. you know, and this
We
plan.
cannot move forward without facts.
I know, but the facts will come out. And we will not get the facts today because at the end of the day...
But you have stressed you have nothing to hide, so why not answer a simple question
it's
around
not
altitude?
it's not as simple as that.
Why?
Well, because we have put structures in place where the NTSB, the AIB have all agreed to come on board. Then I come on to your interview to reveal things which are going to come out anyway. I think you just have to be fair to me. You know, if by this afternoon I find out from the relevant authorities that these two questions can be answered, these questions have been asked day in and day out.
So then what did the radar data show? What did the radar data show? Did it show location?
You're still going on about the details. Which radar?
The military radar data.
You know, you've got military radar, you've got civil radar, you've got satellite. The Chinese satellite, there are 21 Chinese satellites. One of them actually gave me satellite images in the South China Sea. You really want me to confirm something when even satellite that's coming from a third party has shown to be negative? So basically, you're looking at a man who's followed every lead from the first day, and a lot of these leads that were speculated by the media and people wanted answers for, which people completely forgot. The 3 oil slicks, the fact that there was a fireball on top of an oil rig, the fact that there was a live boat and live raft and the satellite.
You won't tell me what altitude.
No, I won't tell you. I'm saying
you won't confirm how long it was on military radar. You won't confirm how many people were on duty. You won't confirm whether the DCA contacted the military as in what time.
But are those questions going to be so critical to what happened?
Yes, Minister, because they are about the process that the government followed at the time this plane went missing.
Okay.
And that is what the world wants to know.
If that's what you want to know, there are other people who want to know many other things, much more rational, much more convincing to my present focus. There are people who are not looking at that angle only. Those are people who really want to know where is the plane.
There are two things the world wants to know. Agreed. Where is the plane?
Yes, that's your opinion.
Absolutely. And number two, how was it lost?
Agreed. So what we need to do...
So that happened. That was a weird interview, guys. I mean, wow. Let's get to some questions here. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to agree with everything. I don't care. I'm just putting the evidence out there. People always try to say I'm trying to tell them what to think. No, just the evidence is extremely strong. That's all. Is that guy in on it? He's definitely in on it. Let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest. I mean, oh, is my camera messed up? That should be a little bit better. Why is it? Huh. Doesn't match. Whatever. But yeah, I mean, that guy, like, come on. Like, he doesn't know something. This dude's just definitely, like, being super sketchy about his answers. He knows something's wrong. Do we know he knows if they know the truth, like the whole truth? I'm not sure, but I went and watched like 3 more. While I went to go eat dinner, I watched like 3 more press conferences. It's super, super, super suspicious. Like, how did they not know where the plane was? They had the radar data. So 5 days after, in the press conference 5 days later, they admitted they gave all the radar data to the United States. Like, what? They didn't even give it to the public. They gave it to the United States first? What? How does that make sense? Yeah, it doesn't. Not bad. pretty good now. Oh, here it is. This is the one. I had it. We're going to move this. Where's the suicide thing? This is already starting to look really good. I might actually get to sleep tonight. Where the hell is the suicide? Oh, here it is. We're going to put this right here. Yeah, that's good right there. I don't understand why my OBS is so inconsistent with my live stream. It's just not the same. I don't understand. Odd. Try that. I don't know. We'll see if that makes it any better. Hey, Tupa, what's up, buddy? I think the debris actually is MH370. Something's definitely wrong with my video. How can these be so out of sync? On one of mine, my head's at the top of the screen, and then when I look over on the YouTube one, it's like way down low. These things can't be the same. I don't get it. I don't know. I'm gonna line it up here. Whatever. It looks good on this one, so I'm not sure why I'd be so off on that other one. There was another one, so I mean, you guys can read when I'm going through it. They had 42 ships and 39 planes at least searching for this in the days afterwards. So there's no way there was a debris field. They would have seen it the next day. But actually, this probably should go down here. Yeah. Actually, that's where it's going to go, yeah. Could probably go in either, honestly. Yeah, Sean, that's part of the reason why I'm moving away from UFO Twitter. I mean, we don't really need the drama. I just don't care. It's too much. like we need more mainstream appeal anyway. Like the thing about it, no offense to anybody who's part of UFO Twitter, I know some of you people are watching, but UFOlogy doesn't really have a lot of credibility in the mainstream. It should probably have more than it does, but it doesn't. The conspiracy angle is the real angle here. I mean, I'm not really on the espionage claim anymore, so that's probably outdated information if you think I am. Espionage claim is a little bit outdated. It's still possible, but a little outdated. One of the things I was watching today, though, did confirm that there was only 2 fake passengers on board the plane, at least in terms of stolen passports. It was like the next day, or I don't know if it was the one that was 5 days later, but it was pretty interesting. Yeah, can I post links in the chat? I think I can. Oh, he gets asked about spy satellites in this one. It's unbelievable. I might have to watch that one again. Where do we put that? That's the same guy. The same guy from the clip you guys just watched gets asked about spy satellites at 16 minutes into this one. I'll post in the chat. I'll put the highlights. What is it? So at 9:30 says check out that link. She wasn't asking for apology for being blocked. She was asking for apology because I tied her to KMF, just somebody who was had made a new account after they got banned. Which, yeah, I could see as I was a little overzealous in blocking people. But I mean, if you're following somebody who just created a new account in less than 1 hour, you know, I don't think it's an unreasonable assumption to think you're connected to them. But we don't need to delve on any of that stuff. It's me apologizing to somebody. I'm not so egotistical that I can't apologize to somebody who feels slighted and needs an apology to feel better. Like, why would that bother me? I mean, the thing about it, guys, is that like I'm trying to tell if people are sincere or not, and somebody who has an emotional reaction like that is 100% sincere. Like they're not faking that they're upset. So that's the reason why I apologized. The people that I'm trying to avoid are the people that are defaming me, that I think are potentially related to U.S. intelligence. The people that don't have their motivations make no sense, right? And I say this a lot, especially on people on Reddit. I can't tell the difference between these people on Reddit, especially there's so many on Reddit that are like, they're either just fake accounts and they're just delusional, or, you know, they're related to U.S. intelligence. And either way, like, I just don't care. I just block them. One thing that we noticed was really interesting is that the account that posted the VFX debunk, actually I gotta go, where is that one? Addressing the debunk. Before I forget. We got a lot of stuff I gotta add in there that I don't want to forget about. Don't I have a whole special part about the VFX debunk? We're gonna actually break it up into two now. I don't want to rewrite everything though, but I don't want to forget this one. The thing I found interesting about that chat is how much recorded stuff there is about all these people that are out there that are like acting sketchy. I watched this really hilarious video that was posted by this harassment archive account. That account's the only account that has permission to make fun of me. Just too funny. It was the Battle of the Bastards from Game of Thrones recreation. Yeah, that one's amazing. And like when all the allies come in to save them at the end, it's a picture of me riding Jamie Mousen, and then a bunch of other people as well. That I couldn't stop laughing at that. Especially the part that was interesting is they had like people from like NASA and stuff like in press conferences that were. I'll post it for you guys. They were in press conferences talking about these people harassing them. It's like, man, how many people are these guys harassing? Like, they're harassing like NASA people. Like, as much as I hate NASA, like, you're not gonna see me like harassing them and like trying to troll them. Come on, like, what? I'll come back down to this part. I want to finish up the Edward C. Lin thing, and then I can give you guys the link. Actually, I got it here. Hold on. You gotta have a Twitter to watch, but I think most of you guys do. Where was it? Oh, here it is. I saved it. This account is just too funny, man. Yeah, JL, I'm glad that I can hit all the questions, you know? That's the point. We should be able to we can explain everything about these videos. The science part's going to need a little bit of updating. I may save that for tomorrow. Tupa's front and center in a lot of these videos as well. Tells me that they've been after him for a long time, probably. I just don't want to be involved in it. Just leave me alone. It's too weird for me. Oh, emotional response. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna separate this. Okay. I may have to turn this one into 2 different posts, honestly. I'm gonna actually move that to the other pertinent evidence part. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, when I show up in the steed, that is the funniest thing ever. Okay, well, you want to know who Edward C. Lin is? Let's add his stuff in here. God, I hope I last long enough here tonight. I'm starting to fade already. This is Edward. This is Lieutenant Commander Edward C. Lin. Once I saw SIGINT, that's when I got pretty sure already we were on the right guy here. Let's be honest, guys. This guy didn't get thrown. They didn't throw life in prison at this guy for 2 emails. Guarantee you that. Go look at what other people get charged with for retention of classified documents. They don't get 9 years for 2 charges. They went after this guy harder than anyone. It was the first case of espionage by an active duty member since the end of the Cold War. Like, they don't go after somebody for life in prison unless it was something really, really, really big. So, why is everything come back to Lockheed Martin too? I really don't want Lockheed Martin to disappear me, man. Like, all the stuff we were looking at is all SIGINT. If you Google SIGINT payload, top hits MQ1C. In fact, where's that? Just Google this real quick and you'll see, very first hit, you'll see SIGINT is MQ1C, which is our drone. Yeah, new order. I did mention that. I said it earlier today as well, that my whole career I've worked in healthcare and that I have experience in IT. I won't go into any more depth on that. If you're able to figure out where I work, do not call my work. They've already been informed that if anyone's to call my work and say anything, that they should go directly to the authorities. Also, this probably shouldn't have to be said, but don't try to call the government or my security clearance. That's a really good way to get arrested, so don't do that. They will definitely track you if you try to do that. And I guarantee you it won't work out well for you. So just don't do that. I saw people trying to post to do that. Like, you got to be pretty sick in the head if you're thinking about doing that. just going to copy this one right here. Yeah, thanks, Mac. Appreciate the support. My coworkers, I don't know. Some of them know about what's going on, and they're supportive. Nobody's really against it. I still just do my job like a normal person. It's not like I'm doing my job like, hey, guys, here's the update on the MH370 investigation. I mean, why would it bother them, as long as it's not interfering? I will say it's exhausting to try to do two jobs, essentially, which is what this is. I used to do fun stuff and play like video games and stuff like that, but nah. Yeah, we never know about it's true. Nah, I think being a little bit cautious is very warranted given the situation of what we're dealing with here. I mean, you just watched that Malaysian defense minister like just lie to this lady for 15 minutes straight about this, and I just watched another like hour and a half of recordings. Somebody just messaged me about the James Fox thing. Somebody's trying to damage his career. I don't think James Fox is. I mean, granted, now from what I've seen, people coming after me, sure, I'm sure he's got people coming after him, but when you say stuff about like people trying to damage your career, usually I'm thinking, did somebody pull up some? Is he getting Russell branded or something? Like did they found something in his dirty in his closet? Because otherwise, what are you trying to get ahead of? He'd be like, if me coming out, I'd be like, guys, ignore everything that's about to be said about me, guys. He'd be like, wait, what? Nah. What I'll say is we shouldn't be trying to reach out to anybody related to anyone I'm mentioning here, just because, I mean, first of all, it looks pretty bad. And also, we don't want to be harassing people. Same with the families. Don't reach out to like families of the victims or anything like that, please. If any of these people want to reach out to us, they'll reach out to us. Yeah, we need people exposing the government. I mean, if this is what they're hiding, then Jesus, man. Yeah. Heavily redacted 3-page charge sheet. Oops. I mean, look at this stuff. We haven't even got to the good bits yet. Like, this is already like, wait, what did this guy get charged with? I'm gonna have to find, where's my EP3 Areas 2 piece? Where'd I put that one? Oh, here it is. Real-time tactical SIGINT and full motion video intelligence. I mean, come on, guys. Kidding me? This is where the videos came from. They're on a plane and he's looking at the videos, and he's probably got the drone right there as well. I mean, the only part I wonder is like, did he really just like film it and save it while he was like there in real time, or did he like the next day while he got back to the base do it? And the question there is, I just don't know how they save this stuff and what kind of access they give them, Presumably he must have had some access to it, or maybe like the plane lands and he goes back and he logs into it, saves it on a flash drive, something like that. Seems possible. Flash drives are like the #1 risk when it comes to like either putting information onto a network or stealing information from networks. In my past, a lot of places I used to work on hospitals and stuff like that, unrelated to my current job. The big issue was like a lot of them would try to lock down the back of the computers that had the flash ports on them. Although I don't know if I should be mentioning that. It's definitely just like a big security risk in general. But a lot of these like healthcare companies and stuff like that too are, the bigger risk is, what do they call it? Getting ransomwared. Like if you can just read about it. It's not even in private information. It happens all the time. Places that like their security is not good. They get ransomware, and then they have to pay like a fee because there's no other way out. Otherwise, you just lose all your super precious data. I mean, look at this about this. The crew fuses collected data with offboard data. Like, what do you guys think that means? Like, that's talking about SIGINT. It's talking about our situation. Battlefield situation awareness. Come on. I wonder if I need to make a sub tab for this. It's anti-submarine warfare applications too. It's like, wow, this is definitely seems like it fits the bill. You tell me this isn't the guy. Oh, the burned debris? You can just Google it and find it. They tried to claim it was related to resin. What? Resin. Come on. Yeah, yep. What I'll say is if I was in communication or trying to communicate with anybody, I wouldn't mention it to anyone either because I need to keep that stuff close to the chest, right? If you think about it. So even if I was in contact with any of these people, I probably wouldn't mention it to you guys. So that's just how it is. What I will say is that I'm pretty sure this is a guy. I have a high degree of confidence. Look at the evidence here. And if he is the guy, we need him to come out and talk because this is going to be one of the only ways that we'll be able to convince a lot of people that the videos are real. Is if somebody like him comes out. Now, if you look at this, and you go through what I did with the sacrifice piece, which you guys can read, this person made a huge sacrifice to give us these videos, and we ignored it for like 7 years, 9 years. Imagine what his mental state is, right? The whole world ignored him leaking the videos. He had to go to prison. No one got him out. I mean, man, if I was him, I wouldn't want to talk to anybody about it. I'd want to move on with my life. He's almost certainly been turned in a way where he won't want to talk about it. But, I mean, if we apply enough pressure, he'd probably be forced to. Yeah, Stuxnet. Stuxnet, exactly what I was thinking of in terms of the flash drive stuff. I mean, all it takes is plugging one flash drive into an open port, and that's game over. And if there are organizations out there that are worried now, well, go increase your security, man. Don't skimp on the security side. It's important. Where's the VPU thing? Here it is. I mean, he was privy to the Navy's black program portfolio, man. I mean, that means he had access to information about these technology that we're talking about on the videos. I just don't get why my YouTube videos different than what OBS shows me. Like not even close. Why is it so different? It just doesn't make any sense. in my YouTube, it's like my head's like off to the side, which is probably what you guys are seeing. But in my OBS, it's like way up at the top. What? What? Okay, I'm gonna try fixing it. We'll see. My guess is that it would have to be like this. Is there just a big delay? I don't know what is going on. Huh. Whatever. Can't worry about it too much, so hopefully I don't look too weird. Did we post when he got arrested? Yeah. Sting operation. Sec. I'm using NVIDIA GPU. Yeah, UFOs is just a straight up joke at this point. What part I don't understand about these subreddits, especially somebody like was trying to mock me on the UFOB subreddit about like, oh, they always say the same thing. Oh, you believe aliens zapped the plane? That makes more sense than whatever, right? It's like, wait, aren't we on a UFO subreddit? Like, isn't this a subreddit for people that like believe there might be non-human intelligence on this earth? Like, why are you trying to make fun of people for trying to think that non-human intelligence could be involved in something? It's very odd. Yeah, so I moved the camera and it actually didn't do anything on the YouTube one. I wonder if it's just broken. Huh. I don't know. We'll try it like that for a minute. Who am I making this document for? For the world, I guess. I am going to send it over to, I think that's okay to say this. I'm going to send it to Jamie Mawson. I'm probably saying his name wrong. If someone can tell me how to say his name correctly, I'd really appreciate it so I don't sound like a jackass. And I'm going to send it to anyone else who wants. I'll probably share it with you guys as well because it'll be really easy. Like some of this stuff you can just copy and paste it. Like when people talk about the debris, which they do all the time, right? You can just pull the debunking the debris and just copy and paste that for them. And then boom, you're good to go. Yeah, I mean, the thing with UFOB is that, like, I've got people stalking me. Like, even my Reddit account has, like, 150, 200 followers or something like that. And they're not all, like, on my side. They're, like, trying to follow me around and downvote all my posts. It's like, I can't stand Reddit. Like, if Reddit just got rid of the downvote option, it would already be 100 times better. Still would be garbage, but it would be a little bit better. Let's get this Edward C. Lin piece done here. We're pretty close to the end on this. So let's do some math here. So he took a 9-year deal with the last 3 years suspended. So that's 6 total years. The suspended part, I don't know what that really means exactly. But he had already spent nearly 2 years in pretrial detainment. So he basically had 4 extra years after 2017. So he probably got out 2021. So he's been spending the last 2 years wondering if anyone would ever realize these videos are real. Yikes. Pretty rough. Yeah, the China spy part's down here too. Where was it? Here you go. Undercover FBI agent who under alias Catherine Wu. So they did this. They basically had him sleep with this woman and have her tell him secrets about this place so they could get some like proof on him. Sketchy, huh? Sting operation. Did I say it was an FBI sting operation? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think our alias really matters. I mean, this is the part where we can tell he's not going to talk, right? So it was just the 2 charges of classified information. That is the only thing that stuck. Everything's redacted. We can't even see the dates on the charges. It's like, what? Can't even know when he did it. I mean, the time frame just matches exactly MH370. I think that's a pretty good summary right there. Any questions on the summary, everybody? I think that'll work. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Why do I doubt the stereoscopic qualities of the video now? People have posted this claim that like YouTube could convert a normal video to a stereoscopic video, but it hasn't really been proven. So until it goes proven one way or another, it's not really that important. We know the satellite was there, so we know they had video of it. We know they could create video of it. We know that they were generally doing 3D video. So I don't know. It's just not that huge a point. And I'd prefer to be accurate, so I don't know. I can't tell if this whole like YouTube creating 3D video stuff is even legit or not. It could even just be disinformation itself. I mean, if they could do that, why would they stop doing it? Oh, okay. The YouTube looks better now. So yeah, I guess moving the screen down did help. It does look weird in this one though. Huh. Yeah, you guys should definitely be very careful on Reddit. Reddit is most of the narratives you're seeing on Reddit are fake. Almost everything you see on Reddit, on major subreddits, like news subreddits, all fake. And by fake I mean like they're showing you what they want you to think. That's what I mean, right? A lot of the content would potentially be real, but a lot of it's misleading. Like a lot of it. I honestly just stopped going there entirely. Just there's nothing worthwhile to even read on there. And it's actually it'll do a lot better for your psyche too. Like it's all like outrage bait. They want you to. You can tell they're trying to get you to be upset at certain things. They're trying to get you to hold certain narratives. They're trying to get you to hold certain political beliefs. The whole works. Same reason why I stopped having cable TV like 7 or 8 years ago. Is that like cable news? It's all garbage. You don't watch cable news at all, or maybe even the news at all. The information that you need to know will get to you. I don't ever feel like, oh, I'm not informed or I don't know what's happening in the world. No. I mean, I don't think Edward C. Lynn's family wouldn't probably speak English, I imagine. You don't think you need to speak to him in Mandarin? Yeah, I mean, my doubt post wasn't really to say that I'm doubting stuff. I mean, I always doubt stuff or I always question it. I think that the the post I made about doubt was more about in general. People shouldn't be so confident about everything, right? Like, there's a lot of stuff that we have to try to uncover, even when we have this much evidence. Like, we still want to be skeptical, open-minded. I think the science is the biggest part that I'm doubting right now. I just don't know. There's like two competing theories. They're not mutually exclusive, but like I can't figure out how they unify together. But at this point, and now I'm glad that we mentioned this. Where's the science? We're definitely we're going away from macroscopic decoherence and we're going to macroscopic coherence now, which I asked Sal Pius like what the difference is. And he didn't really give me a good answer, but I'm sure we'll get it. Let's see. What was that thing? Supposedly, I'm probably not saying this right, but what Salvatore Pius was saying was that you don't necessarily need a metamaterial like LK99 to induce room temperature superconductivity. There's other ways. Probably, or by... other electromagnetic properties, forces. What's the word I'm looking for here? Mechanisms. Now, when we're doing with the, what should we say about the toroidal? How do you pronounce that? God, I better learn how to pronounce that correctly. Sean, yeah, I'm hoping we pass that law about whistleblowers because maybe that would protect people like Edward C. Lynn. do the technology that we're seeing here. Not sure if it would, but maybe. It's not, Australians wouldn't have been able to hear a noise when the plane was lost, but there was 9, when the plane went dark, there was 9 people on the coast that did hear a loud noise, which is consistent with the lithium-ion battery fire explosion. I don't think Regicide Anand's ever going to come forward. I actually don't know if Regicide Anand's still with us, honestly. Especially if they're not an American. I could see that he got silenced pretty easily, probably. But who knows? Touroid. Is that how it's pronounced? Touroid? Touroid? Touroid. I'm going to definitely not say that correctly. What do we call it? Orient their, what did he call the thing? Oh, the orbs are... they orient their, whatchamacallit thing. Pointy boy. Pointy thing. We're going to call it Pointy Boy for now until I come up with the right name. Toroid. Okay, toroid. 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 Okay. Void toroid. 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 Ugh. I'm struggling. Orbs orient their pointy thing towards the center of mass. Or what's it? What's the right word here? I might have to watch the Bob Grenier thing again. But it makes sense. Like they're forward-facing engines. At the last second, they turn them and they rotate them right towards the middle. They're definitely doing what I was saying. Is pointing vector. I like that. Thank you. Orient their pointing vector. Thank you for that. Let's call it just converge. So when the orbs are... Sal Pius said as well they could be theoretically remote controlled. When I asked him about that, he got like real weird too. Like one of my skills is that I can tell the difference when people are like holding back information, right? And then you can glean a lot of that as well. It really felt like he wanted to be careful about what he said at that moment. So what was the explanation? They were creating a matter wave or something. What was it? Let me pull up my questions with Sal. Yeah, you guys can read all this. I don't care. These are some of my works that I'm going to be working on here. I've still got 3 things lined up that I haven't really got into. Oh, okay. So extremely low temperatures can allow them to couple and move as one. Oh, I should move it down here. I think that's what these orbs are doing. They're doing something to the electrons around it based on what. Let me pull that piece up. Getting so tired. From the Bob Greenier thing. What was that he was saying about them spinning? Wow. The Minister of Defense one already has 21,000 views in 3 hours. Oh my god. Okay. Combined movement can cohere the electrons. Let's call it combined. What? So it was moments, not movements. Fractal toroid moments. I'm gonna still call it movement in this particular case because I'm not talking about that thing. Yeah. And this is a pretty good list. I'm going to move macroscopic quantum coherence down. Well, we could talk about the vibrational acceleration as well. I just never really fully understood it. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. The orbs are essentially creating a unification of the forces in a singularity. I think that's a correct way to phrase it. Fractal toroidal moments create a unification of the forces inducing the singularity. I think that's sounds pretty smart. Yeah, what was that about the vibrations? Oh yeah, I want that. Mechanical vibrations from the megahertz transducers can make densely charged valence shells overlap. It's a little bit too deep, I think, on that one. What did I say about it? Oh, I said other electronic mechanisms. I think that I'm going to say repeated pulse vibrations can cause the densely charged. I think that's right. Do you think that's accurate? Repeated pulse vibrations from transducers. What else did I write about that? This is the stuff that starts to go over my head like pretty hard. I'm just not great at what is it? Thermodynamics and all the other stuff. This part. Oh, is that what MZ? Does MZ stand for microwaves? No, that's megahertz. What's up, people who are new, who just joined us? Yeah, I don't think the singularities, toroidal or whatever. God, I'm already struggling. Toroidal, whatever. But it, I think it's the movements that the orbs are making is how you would describe that. But when you looked at Bob Greenier's, like the small version of what he did, it looked like, you know, a circle that got popped out of some mass. Oh, okay, you can't hear it. Never mind. Good. I thought you might accidentally be listening to him talk over there on my other screen. Yeah, the 4chan leak is still kind of weirded me out because it's a lot of similarities to what we're talking about here. A non-radiating boundary. Huh. I think we got enough on the science side. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be enough for the layman, you know? Yeah, I'm going to leave it as just transducers instead of the specific part. Yeah, Andy, that's the big thing. I mean, there literally is 2 satellites there. So that's why I think that the 3D stereoscopic thing is like the intelligence community trying to cast doubt on it. If they really could prove that it was false, they would have proved it. But at the same time, doesn't really matter again, either way. The satellite was definitely there, and I just got a quote from the guy. He was asked about the satellite in the video I posted earlier today, like that same guy that I posted the video of. On day 5 press conference, they literally asked him if the American satellites were there, and he said, "Yeah, we're working with them." Like, what? In fact, where are we gonna put that? What was the defense minister's name? Was he? I confused if he's the defense minister or Minister of Transport. Where do I put that? That video. I'm seeing it play over here. Looks on his face, just a straight up liar, man. Just a straight up liar. No wonder people were so bugged out about that guy. I'm gonna try to clean up the flight path part here, and then I'll maybe do some of the debunk stuff. then we'll be pretty much done. We'll probably save theories and speculation for tomorrow. I might keep the theories and speculation stuff separate. I mean, as you can see, like, look how long this is already. How many pages is this just to get to there? Yeah, it's already, what, 10 pages long? God, it's not going to, it's going to take like 8 Twitter posts. Here's the other one. Okay. I mean, this is weird for him to claim that. You guys need to go check that out. 16 minutes, 40 seconds, I think is when he says it. Pretty bizarre. Yeah, I've got 50 notifications. Jesus. The memes people post on the, the defense minister. It's just too damn funny, man. Yeah, if you put me in the, that's what I was gonna say. I actually edited this out. I had to recreate the post on the defense minister, because I actually had scheduled the post earlier today and it failed, so I had to rewrite it. And I was gonna say that you put me in the room with that guy for 10 minutes, we're gonna have a full confession. Like, if I confront him with this information, that guy's gonna fall apart, no doubt. Motive needs more work as well. I think those are probably the strongest evidences there. Toroidal. Yeah, okay, it's toroidal. Okay, good. Toroidal. 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 Let's get it right. Toroidal. 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 Now I'm saying it correct. Toroidal. Where did I put the Edward C. Lynn stuff? Up here? Probably have to move the witness stuff up there, huh? Orb analysis probably is going to move down. I think the witness stuff needs to be coming up next. And then probably why MH370. Maybe why even MH370 first. Maybe even goes up here. Then the witnesses should go right after the lithium-ion battery fire. Yeah, lithium-ion battery fire, then we do witnesses, I think. Maybe even the requirements to understand them would be real right at the top. Those might even be first. I think I'm going to move them up. Toroidal. Toroidal. Yeah, my guess would be that learning about reverse engineering or non-human intelligence would also indicate that our history is quite a bit different than we imagine it to be from a human species. Which I think if you watch Graham Hancock's stuff and the ancient apocalypse, he presents a pretty strong argument from an anthropological standpoint that our history dates back further than we really think. That it's more than 10,000 years old, which if you think about it, 10,000 years is not a long time. Doesn't make sense to me in general. Tesla as well. A lot of people talk about Tesla in general. Yeah, I mean, we've got a ton of information on Edward C. Lin, man. This is one of the biggest ones. If you're going to criticize, tell me somebody else who would fit the bill better than this. If you can tell me somebody would fit the bill better than this, then I'll say that we don't have enough evidence. If you can't tell me anybody else who fits the bill better than this, then, I mean, what do you want, man? He got caught with flight manifests from a search and rescue in 2014. The defense argued that the classified information is available on the internet. You know, like, what more do you really want, dude? The fact that we even have that much information about him being the guy is, in my opinion, pretty incredible. I've already Freedom of Information Act requested the FBI and the NCIS on his history as well. Maybe I'll even put that at the top. Or I'll call it pending FOIAs. I think it's pretty solid. I don't know. I think the Edward C. Lin stuff is really solid. Fake requirements. We also need to add in here as well. I'm going to put down here. Better understanding of physics than most PhDs. You know, just given what we know, like everything looks perfect from a physics standpoint, all explainable, but it's all stuff that like really only advanced PhDs even understand. But not even necessarily PhDs. PhDs isn't even the right term because it turns out like having a PhD doesn't mean anything. It's just a matter of like people, a lot of these people who are knowledgeable, it's like Pius and Bob Grenier, even Roy. I don't think any of them are PhDs. And they're all like the smartest people when it comes to this stuff because they're dedicated to it, right? Einstein was just a guy who was investigating and just loved to figure stuff out, right? He was passionately curious. It doesn't take credentials for that. Just creates passion is what it takes for that. Okay, what should we work on next? Flight path? We could do the VFX debunk. This one I think has been, people let go of this one, but maybe we need this. Interesting enough, this one here about this frame rate difference in the zap was actually by the person who was harassing us that got their account banned. So it goes to show you how dishonest these people really are. They were just making up crap. I'm not even going to address this one. Things that are artifacts of the software, we're not going to even address. I've literally never gotten a response ever once when I ask somebody how many pixels match on the VFX debunk. So if anyone's out there and they're claiming that the VFX matches on some frames and then they're adamant about it, which they always are, all you have to say is how many pixels match. Just remember that. That shuts down the debate every single time because they're so dishonest they can't even respond. Like they can't even let themselves admit they were wrong because none of them have actually tried to check. The answer is like probably like 50% of the pixels. It's not even close. It's so silly. I think we addressed that, right? Let's leave that there. Get rid of these. Oh yeah, this is a good one too. Okay. Sorry, I'll look at the questions in a second, guys. I'm just focused right now. And I'm getting spammed on messages at the moment. Let's listen to a little Nicki Minaj. I listen to all kinds of music, guys. If you haven't been able to tell from my posts, listen to pretty much everything. Oh, where's other pertinent information right here? Let's do total darkness, moon down, sun was set. Satellite. I'll say with false color IR. I'm sorry, illumines the clouds, zap, illuminate, illumination. Sivers. Okay. Heck yeah, it's starting to get real spicy now. Look at this. Okay, let's move this. Oh yeah. Okay, let me do some questions. Let's see what we got. Oh. My T-brain, everything can have counterpoints made against it. So the question about having counterpoints made against it, why do you think nobody's made counterpoints against everything? The answer is right here. A full story is needed to explain these videos. Just making counterpoints doesn't do anything. It doesn't break down the story, right? What you have to do is you have to somehow cast doubt on the entire story. Casting down one piece of evidence doesn't do anything. We got 16 pages of evidence, you know? So you say, oh, well, maybe it's not Edward C. Lin. Okay, cool. It's still a fire. It's still Malaysian Airlines, you know? That's the reason why I'm stacking the evidence so high, is that it makes that impossible. If all we had was one piece of evidence, of course they could cast doubt on it and then we wouldn't have a strong story. That's why when you build a case, think about like a criminal case. In the criminal cases against people, like for murder, is every piece of evidence accurate? Not necessarily. You're building a story that a jury is going to be able to buy into, right? That's what we're doing. This isn't a scientific paper that we're writing here. We're trying to build a case that people can believe. And the reality is it's very compelling. You can tell. And it'll be very compelling when I tell the story on the next podcast as well. And we're just going to keep getting better and better at it. The science part, interestingly enough, despite potentially being the most important, you know, that from the layman's perspective, people are not, you know, most people aren't understanding all that, right? Like when we started talking about toroidal effects and things like that, it's, you know, going right over everybody. You tell them black hole, and okay, now they're thinking of it. But that's why we want to be careful, because if a black hole really would destroy the planet, then we don't really want to refer to it as that if we can avoid it. So I will remain speculative when I bring that stuff up on my big interviews. I wouldn't even think PhDs aren't even good at politics. Honestly, I've lost so much respect for academia. I give like letters next to people's names literally zero credit. Zero credit. I judge people based on the stuff they say. So I won't say the person's name, but like the person that was chiming in as well, that was supposedly an orb expert, I did not judge them ahead of time, right? I could have looked up their stuff and seen that they were not very credible, but I don't judge people that way. I want to see what they actually say, what are the merits of their arguments. But when then that person brought up the Cambodia, can't picture the plane in Cambodia jungle, like that's, okay, now I'm throwing out everything you say from that point forward. That's the laziest lack of critical thinking that I've ever seen. What, do you really think that there's a plane in the middle of the jungle with no like crash marks? Like planes have to land, man. It didn't just plop down in the middle of the forest with trees all around it. It doesn't even make sense. Obviously it's a plane flying over the trees. And I look back at the old historical satellite data, and it's not in any of the other pictures before the most recent one on Google Maps. So it's just like, I judge people based on the content of their character and based on the arguments that they make. And then I go look at their profile and realize, oh, okay, this person's in La La Land, right? And I don't have to really listen. But even so, like, what do I care? If they want to believe, like, whatever, they're some kind of orb expert, I'm not going to go there and try to bother them. I don't have the energy. I just don't care. If people want to be grifted and send their money to people like that for their, you know, their expertise or whatever they claim to have, like, go nuts, man. If that makes you happy, I don't care. It's hardly the worst thing in the world. Yeah, so I mean, these videos are not fake, guys. I mean, let's look at the list. Where's the list? And we got to add the Marvel VFX guy on there as well. Where's that? That's actually reminds me. There's so many little things we still have to add. Oh, and I got a bunch more down here too. Oh boy. Oh boy. I mean, it's fine. I think we addressed a lot of this stuff. I do want this one though. What was that we were just talking about? Oh, yeah, I can't forget the Marvel VFX expert. Let's go do that real quick before I forget. Marvel VFX expert. Let's not forget that. Okay, where is it? So we'll put it next to, this should be smoke. Change that to smoke. Where the, I'm so tired, I'm not even seeing it. I don't see the Top Gun Maverick one. It's supposed to be right here in the middle. You guys see the Top Gun Maverick one? You guys see it? I don't even see it. Yeah, it's not there. Huh. Okay. Sorry, let me see. I don't know if what Mullah Viking, I don't know if this is like God technology. We're not that far. I mean, it's just advanced, honestly. But just because you can move something at very high speed doesn't make you a god. You're not invincible. Same with non-human intelligence. People want to argue that, like, how could a non-human intelligence craft crash? I don't know. The same way we lose a 777-200, people make mistakes. You know, things happen. Just because an object is built for flying long distances doesn't mean it's invincible. It's a bit of a logical fallacy that people have there. Presumably, these craft can crash. They probably don't crash a lot. The other question is, can one of these, if a craft is a UAP or whatever, can it really go through solid matter? I'm still not sure about that. I think what we talked about Salvatore Pais helps explain how, yeah, I don't think we're talking about time travel right now, though. How these craft are, we don't see them, because what we're seeing here in our videos, this thing literally goes the speed of light. You don't see it unless it's hovering around. Yeah, we are time traveling right now. That's true. As far as I can tell, you can only go into the future, although we should probably put that in somewhere. Theoretically, it's possible, I guess, but you'd have to switch timelines if you go to the past. Where's the teleportation part? That's a good one. So you guys are reminding me of some good stuff here. What time is it? Oh, it's not even that late. So interestingly enough, it removes from civilian radar. I think it only removes from primary radar, or I forget how this works. Like, I'm gonna get primary and secondary flipped here. And the thing I just mentioned too, military, they claimed it reconnected at let's do military radar. These guys also, like, it makes no sense how they didn't know where the plane was. I was watching these videos because I told you guys I would watch more of these news conferences. Like, how do they not know where? I'm deleting this too. Satellite does not reconnect. How would they not know where this plane went? They're looking at radar, and then they're like searching in two different places, and people were like freaking out at them. This New York Times guy in one of the press conferences, I think it was like one of the ones the next day, he just straight up asked them, I think it was the next day one, he's like, how does the plane, is it possible for the plane to completely go dark? And they're like, we're gonna look into that. It's like, what do you mean we're gonna? Isn't it just a basic question? Is it possible or not? Like, there had to be like devices that were sending data, and he just asked them, and they just like won't answer the question. Like, well, we're doing a full investigation. Like, what do you mean a full investigation? Like, time is of the essence. These people could be alive out in the water somewhere. Yeah, there's no way they lost track of the plane. And then they're being coy about they don't know what they're tracking, or like maybe the plane turned around and had a turn. Like, what do you mean maybe it had a turn? They released the data later on, and it definitely did. It's like, it's so sketchy. I can't believe I didn't look more at more of the press conferences before I watched that guy. And now, like, I'm almost wondering, like, if we look at the press conferences, we're gonna be able to like piece together that for sure it was bullshit. Yeah, so like, how are they going to claim that they know that it's a civilian craft without being able to track it? And how are they going to claim they knew it's not hostile? That's the weirdest part. How can you claim it's civilian and not hostile without being able to authenticate it? So it makes no sense. I think I'm done with this satellite system resetting. I just don't trust any of that data. It just doesn't mean anything to me. Maybe I'll put this up near the top, honestly. I'm going to keep the satellite ping stuff on here too. This might come back into play. It's very weird, the satellite ping stuff, how they like it just doesn't ping the other satellite. And when I confronted Victor about it, he was so sketchy about it, which makes me think there's something to it. He was acting really weird. It doesn't make sense for him to be an agent though, because he cast doubt on so much of the official story. I think he's just misguided. I'm going to move this as a note. I kind of like that being the flight path being the first, honestly. Let's just call it lost trust. This is pretty good. Maybe this actually goes into the fire part. We got so much stuff here. No, we don't even have it there, so that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of people just can't accept that these videos can be real, which blows my mind. I mean, look at the weight of the evidence. Can you imagine the next like confessionals thing that I do in person? For like, it's gonna be like 3 hours to go through all this. It's really just a matter of like the sequencing of it. There's just so much. And like, I probably won't even go to the Diego Garcia stuff. Like, we don't even, who even cares? Like, at this point, we have so much evidence. It doesn't even matter where it went. People will speculate. Sure, we'll keep the data there because I want to have all the data there, but we don't need to, it doesn't even matter where it went and what happened to the families. We can already just prove it's all fake and that the videos are real. The reverse engineering part's going to need to go to the bottom. We could even do a thing on the victims too. So that would be where it went, and then families of the victims, or where passengers. What about the passengers? Because that's what people ask, right? What about the passengers? and then we can have a paste on that. I probably won't add to that yet because I want to get the meat and potatoes part finished here. This is looking really good, guys. This is looking really solid. Okay, let's see. It's not even so much the Boeing. Like, Boeing is definitely involved, but Rolls-Royce, they're the ones with the engine data. There's no way they didn't have engine data. Can't convince me otherwise. So, blah, blah, blah. Where did we put the northern coordinates stuff? The Nicobar Islands. I think that's up here in the facts. Yeah, satellite shift indicate the northern coordinates. Okay. Doesn't have to be super in depth, so I'm going to delete this. And then the sketchy data. I probably shouldn't say sketchy data. It's a little bit too, like, childish. Let's call it anomalous ping data. Anomalous. Is that how you spell anomalous? Anomalous. Oh, yay. Anomalous ping data. Let's call this 1941. Let's call it not even pattern. How about subsequent limited? Those are for, this is like headers or stuff I had with pictures. I don't think we need that either. Damn, there we go. Kaboom. I mean, that just super cast out on that. I think this has got to go near the top. This is like right at the top, I think. Listen to some Madonna right now. Okay, requirements, videos. I wonder if the flight path goes right at the top even before the videos. I guess I can move up and down. So let's do, I'm going to put it right after the videos. Yeah. Because like if you think about how I would run through it, the first thing that people always ask me is they want to know, okay, what was the official story, right? And that's what the flight path really is this is the official story. Yeah, why'd they wait so long to release the data? Super sus, man. Give me a second. Let me just see what kind of messages we got here. I got some private messages. Give me a second. Phase singularity. Yeah, maybe phase singularity. I didn't really want to use the word phase singularity though. Sure. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that person who messaged me. Oh yeah, the monopoles. That's the word for it. Monopoles. That's what we want here. Monopoles. Thank you for that. Whoever messaged me that. I don't know what azimuth means, but it sounded cool. Okay. Thank you for that, people who messaged me. It's looking really, really good now. Ooh, I love it. Getting excited here. Yeah, GPT is okay. I probably could use it, but I like to do stuff myself. I mean, I like to think through like how I'm going to describe it, and I've done so many podcasts now where like the one that's coming out tomorrow, the Alpha Warrior one, is one of the best ones I've ever done. It's about an hour, 45 minutes, I think, and we went through it like systematically. The Alpha Warrior guys, interestingly enough, some of these like more like conservative political ones I've done have been like the best hosts. Like I was a little concerned at first that we might be digging into like some other conspiracy territory, but no, they're like just keep it straight up, like just right down to the brass tacks. You know, they don't even get too conspiratorial. I'd say the UFO ones are the ones that have been more like I don't know what the right word for it is. Not really hostile, but adversarial perhaps is the right word. Because like all the UFO type host people are all super skeptical, right? the ones that are more like the political, like conspiracy side or whatever, they're like the ones who have been the better ones. Yeah, watching the videos with the science that we understand has been the part that's blown me away, man. I wish we could make a 2 or 3 minute video. How do you turn this into a 2 or 3 minute video? It's just no way to do it, really, right? The interesting part is a lot of the people that I've talked to actually do sit through, like, can sit through a 3-hour podcast. The stuff's so compelling. That's the thing about it. And once you get going, it's like, oh, you don't want to stop. If I present it the right way, I guarantee you we can make most normal people sit through 3 hours of it. Just think of like the documentaries that you've sat through that are like pretty long and you just want to hit the next one, right? And you want a next episode. Like I could see us turning this into like 4 or 5 episodes. You have like, you know, certain breaks at certain points, right? Where it becomes kind of like a cliffhanger where you got to know the next thing, you know, like, okay, the next thing's okay. What's going to be the motive, right? And then, I mean, you start, of course, let's just run through it. Let's see how it flows. Let me just make sure I had all the questions here. No, the scientists, they're actually really engineers is a better term for them, but scientists is still accurate. They were going to improve the efficiency of certain plants that were in China was what the official narrative was. But there's 20 of them, which is pretty bizarre. If I missed anyone's question, just repeat it. I haven't been paying that much attention to the chat, so I think I got all of them. Plane probably couldn't land due to the fire. My guess is that the landing gear was damaged or it just wouldn't come down. I don't know why some people have tried to claim that the landing gear's down in the videos. It's definitely not. And then so the next move is they would try to land in the water. But landing in the ocean, the plane's going to fall apart and everybody's going to die. It's not like Sully Sullenberger in the Hudson River. You're in the middle of the ocean, so this plane was most likely doomed. If you have requests for podcasts, the best thing to do is to reach out to the podcasters. I've gotten so many requests I can't even fill them all. And I had a waiting list going, and I've been trying to do as many as I can, but it's starting to honestly just drain me too much. What I would also say is if you guys are... Oh, the azimuth is the intensity of the gravitational flux in the face. Oh, okay, cool. Good to know that. That'll be helpful for when I explain it. Intensity of the gravitational flux. So it's kind of like the field around it, right? When I share this, you know, feel free to, you know, use this as much as possible. And, you know, share the information that you find is relevant. You can give me feedback on it and certain parts that we can either add to. I'm sure we're going to be missing stuff on here that I'm going to have to add to later. Yeah, and again, I wish we could do a 1 minute. Cosmology, send me, if you have a request that you want, send it to me at MH370x at proton.me. and I'll take a look at it. I haven't even looked at my email today, but I'll take a look in the morning for sure. But I'm pretty booked up looking at my schedule. Like this week's already, like, I think just full. Let me just look. Got a podcast tomorrow, another one on Wednesday. I have 2 more on Thursday. And then one on Saturday. I'm going to go on to the Room 2008 one, which is a Twitch stream. And I've been doing ones that are bigger, smaller. I don't even really care the size that much anymore, just because I like to help out the people that have been supporting us, following us. The Room 2008 guys are really cool. And the reason why I'm saying it is because I'm not afraid of them canceling or anything like that. Honestly, at this point, like, I wouldn't even mind a person or two canceling. It's just been a lot. But they were really cool. I helped. What they were one of the earliest ones that talked about the content on the stream, on their Twitch stream. And I like sat in the chat and chatted with them. So I think talking with them in person would be a lot of fun. I think that was before I revealed my full identity as well. So that'll be a good one to do. Those guys are really cool. And hopefully they get up to date on some of the more recent stuff. And then it'll be a really fun conversation with them. And that kind of bleeds into what we're trying to accomplish here, is that we're trying to get to a point where the evidence and the information is undeniable, where, you know, even if the government doesn't admit it, we have so much evidence here that everybody just knows that it's the official story is BS, right? That's kind of what I'm trying to get to. And that's my strategy. I just got the cards on the table. You know, that's what we're doing, is we get to a point where everybody just knows, like, this evidence is overwhelming, and we know that the official narrative is nonsense because of, like, you know, where is it? You know, plane not crashing in the South Indian Ocean. I mean, how do you argue against this? And debunking the debris. They deployed 42 ships and 39 planes, and this was initially. And we know that they were communicating with the spy satellite, or with the U.S. government and spy satellite. So how did they not find this plane the next day? Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate your feedback. Yeah, G. Blake, I'm not sure about what would happen on the other side. That's a really good question. And I wish we had another way. Like, I wish I had 2 more videos of watching it up here, because I would never have believed this without having 2 videos. Even with 1 video, I would never believe it. It really takes 2 videos to even believe that this can be possible. That's how crazy advanced it is. Yeah, Joe Rogan would just be, I mean, that's the dream, guys. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but my big fear is that Joe Rogan would get contacted by the government and told, like, hey, we're going to come down on you if you talked about this. This is classified information. And at this point, I'm sure, maybe not everybody, I'm sure there's people out there that are just, they don't believe, right? And they can't believe. But some of the bigger people and stuff, probably the only reason why they haven't reached out would be, like, you know, they're getting told by the government, like, don't talk to this guy. This is information that's national defense, right? But the way we break that down too is we just make it so that everybody knows, to the point where it's like, okay, it's actually more suspicious that you don't talk to me, which it already is for the mainstream media. Like, not that I'm going to go and talk to them. Like, I'm looking forward to the day where CNN calls me and I can tell them to go to hell. That's going to be a great day. I can't wait for that day. Because I don't care about that at all. Honestly, it gives us more credibility to not go on mainstream media. And then if they try to defame me or anything like that, lawsuit. I mean, those people have a lot of money. I saw what they did with that Sandeman kid or whatever his name is. I don't know how much money he actually got, but he definitely won that defamation suit, no doubt. So if they try to make me to be some kind of weirdo or whatever, like, yeah, it's going to be just time to go to the bank. Yeah, manifest, that's actually not predictive programming, because predictive programming, I think, has to come before the event. So a better explanation for manifest would be art imitating life, I think. But it's really weird how similar manifest is. But that's one of those things where you wonder, like, hey, it's kind of like the Don Lemon, the Don Lemon piece. Like, were they told something? Like, did somebody know something here? Like, what the hell? Like, how are they coming up with that, right? Lost is the one that I would say is more predictive programming, where it's like this plane disappears and goes to some other dimension, and then these people somehow appear. Like, can you imagine the passengers just showing up on TV and being like, "Hey guys, we're back. I'm back from my plane trip on MH370. We were alive the whole time." That would be wild. Yeah, crypto. I'm assuming that's for a podcast. If so, yeah, send me an email. I'll take a look at it. Probably in the morning. I'm too tired. The event, wasn't that one that got canceled right away? I never saw the event, but I think it was something similar, right? Where people like disappeared or something. The only one that I've seen is Lost, and that was like, early 2000s, mid 2000s. And the first couple seasons of Lost were good, but it just kind of went off the rails from there. I think Lost was good when it was all about the mystery. Oh, this is where. Wait. Why is this MH370? Okay, only missing and color tone matches, thermal matches. Official flight path has it running out of gas, and there's nowhere else for it to go. This probably should go in debunking the debris, right? No, this should go over here. This should go over here. Because people say, "Oh, the ocean's really big." That's like one of the worst excuses ever. Like, arguments like that are social contagion. So if you want to know what social contagion is arguments like the ocean's really big. Like, that's not somebody that someone thought themselves, right? That's something they heard on TV and they're repeating as their own belief. Because if you think of it, it doesn't make any sense. Like, they've searched everywhere where the plane could have gone. There's no other spot. It's not like this plane has another 5 hours of fuel to keep flying around. They searched everywhere. So, like, arguments like the ocean's really big is just social contagion. And what I would challenge you guys with as well is that you'll hear other stuff like that too. People in your family, maybe you even do it, where you may find yourself making an argument that's not even really your own argument. You don't even know where it came from. And that's where we have to learn how to critically think, right? You hear something on TV say, "Oh, ocean's really big." Well, you should think about it and go, wait, does that actually make sense, right? Yeah, Sean Ryan would be interesting. I know that I presented the case to his team. But those are types of shows too where if I do have an invite, I'm not going to be able to say anything ahead of time. Like, I'm just going to go do it, and then after it's done, I'll let you guys know. So even if I had an invite for that, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Honestly, same with Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan, like, if he were to say yes, I don't think he'd be able to cancel afterwards. So I probably would just say if I got on Joe Rogan, honestly. What I will say is we've got some stuff coming up. There's stuff coming up. Don't worry about it. And this is only going to get bigger and bigger, I think. I hope. And I don't think it'll be able to be ignored. Official search. Probably move that up here as well, right? A lot of these, the YMH370 stuff doesn't really match in the right spot. They searched everyone by path. South Indian Ocean and Malacca Straits. All right, Malacca Straits. I think that's how you spell it, right? Did I spell it correctly? Is that how I spell it? No G? No GH? I don't know. Let me double check. Yeah, okay, that's how it's spelled. Cool. Yeah, I did not like the end of Lost either. I thought it was just a cop-out. And the reason was because I listened to all the podcasts, and that was like early days of podcasts with the creators, Damon Lindelof, and I can't remember the other guy's name. And there would be all these people speculating on how it was going to end and what was going on, right? And they kept on saying over and over and over again that it's not purgatory, it's not purgatory, it's not purgatory. And the end was okay. It was purgatory. It's like, come on, man. Like, obviously they didn't have it planned out. They just came up with it on the fly. Yeah, the thing about the oceans being really big is as silly as like people thinking that they had to. Oh, that's what we're gonna do. That's a good one. We can't forget that one. U.S. government is definitely tracking a rogue 777 in a post 9/11 world. Oh, we'll probably move this. We can probably move this down though. I didn't realize we already had stuff like that. No, I haven't looked into Texas Instruments or Carlisle Group. I'm actually avoiding looking too much into private companies because I'm not as afraid of my government as I am some rogue organization disappearing me. And it's not really that important to solve the mystery. God, this quote's super weird. I'm gonna have to go find this one again. This one's real bizarre. This actually makes me tie into what the minister was saying about the satellites helping. Like, what the hell does that mean? They didn't find a single piece of the plane. How could they have solved the mystery? This DSP detection being ignored, I'm probably going to get rid of that because even though it's interesting, like we've already proven the hydrophone data and all that. So I'm not that worried about it. Yeah, I don't think people realize how big a 777 is. I mean, it can fit almost 300 people. They're huge. Okay, so we've cleaned that up. Wow, it's looking real good. Was it Pennywise? Not Pennywise. What was her? Moneypenny? Moneypenny was saying we should do a summary. She was an ex-BBC reporter, I think. Not sure, though. I feel like the evidence doesn't really need a summary, but having a summary in general for like podcast review would be pretty useful. No bodies were found, not a single one. I think they tried to argue like sharks ate them all. Okay, sure. Sharks ate all the bodies. The luggage just sank or something? What happened to all the luggage? What happened to all the pieces of the plane? The official story early on was that this plane did a swan dive, a perfect 90-degree swan dive, and somehow didn't 10 out of 10 in the Olympics, like no splash. And even that didn't make any sense, but people never even questioned it. And then later on, they changed it to being like a 14-degree angle. Just makes no sense. I should add that in here, actually. Makes no sense. It was right on an active shipping route, too. I mean, come on. What? Okay, let's go back down here. The science is pretty legit here now. I don't know about, I'm going to get rid of removing unwanted particles. I think it makes more sense that they're tracking the plane and they are creating, they're doing this electron combination here. Yeah. I'm going to move this one up. This is looking pretty spicy. I like this. I can use the bug analogy as well. I think that that's a good one for people to understand. So if people want to understand how time moves faster for less mass, just explain that that's how ants and flies are able to move so fast despite the fact they're so tiny, right? Like why can a tiny bug move so fast despite the fact that we're huge and it can move faster than we can move, right? If you think about it in terms of relative size to how fast it's going way faster than us given how tiny it is. But that's because the time is moving so fast for it. So in theory, that could also explain his lifespan, why their lifespans are so short. Is that time is just moving faster for them. I'm not sure if that's really accurate, but it seems to make sense. What about the barrier? Yeah, okay, we already got the barrier part in there too. This probably needs to move up. The suicide myth. Probably goes after the debris. Or actually probably right here. I think that's where it fits best. Yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay. And then we flow into lithium ion battery fire. We talk about the witnesses, bring all the other witnesses into play. The reason why the fire fits into the witnesses really well is that's how we found it. The Philip Wood narrative, that's down here at the Diego Garcia bit. I'm going to move the motive part a little bit, I think. Yeah, I think where it's going to go above orb analysis. I was thinking about having the debunk stuff go higher. But because the reality of the debunk stuff is most people who have been on like Reddit are going to be thinking, oh, well, this is fake because I saw the Mick West debunk. Does this go before motive? Probably. Probably do all their pertinent information first. I think we can get rid of this stuff though, because I think I moved these into their own category up here. Requirements, yeah, we don't need those. I already talked about this stuff. I would say probably get rid of the one possible fake passenger. That one, I don't think they're related anymore. Oh, this is the same as this right here. I'm going to move this one up. Maldives. I'm not going to put the Maldives in there. Yeah, crypto, we already saw it. We've been talking about it. A lot of the science that we posted in here today already has it in there. Oh, yeah, the Florence to Changi stuff. That's interesting, and we didn't put that in here. Maybe that's go down here. That's pretty weird. Yeah, so the debunk stuff, like, normally I'd put it up sooner because that stuff is like what people are going to think of, but I want it to flow more naturally. Oh, motivation, probably. I think motivation's fine up there. Teleportation might have to move up, though. Oh, we already addressed the is there. It's going to go before science, I think. And then we can put cloaking. Did I already say about the... But yeah, that Bob Greenyer analysis was amazing. Okay. Yeah, honestly, the Salvatore Pius interview was amazing. Oh wait, who here is Bernie? Who's Bernie? I don't know. If Bernie's on here, the Burn Eye from Alien Scientists, we need to get in touch, set something up. He was asking really good questions on Alien Scientist. I want to chat with him again. Oh, Crypto's Bernie? Yeah, oh, you sent me, okay, you sent me an email, right? Yeah. Yeah, that analysis was legit. I mean, wow. It was funny because I fell asleep after the Salvatore Pius thing, and I was trying to watch it, but I was too tired. And I woke back up and I started watching, and I'm just, because I had like 50 pings about watching it. So I go watch it, and I'm like, how is this really going to be that good? Holy crap. Yeah. It was wild. Someone was asking me, I forgot to, I was looking at my 50 alerts. Someone was asking me if I've spoken to Florence. I have spoken to her. Not going to really comment more at this point, but I've spoken to her before. Yeah, so I think Prince William, visited Diego Garcia. Like, he went to the Maldives like right after, something weird like that. Oh yeah, did we have the thing about the logs being destroyed? I think it was like June or July. I'll have to go back and look. I can't remember if it was June or July. I'm just going to go with June for now. We'll have to do June, July. Like all the flight logs just randomly got water damage in 2014. What? The Philip Wood one came from 4chan. I'll send it to you guys. I have it. I've saved everything. I have all the receipts, guys, every single time. Actually, I was literally just looking at it. It looked like my search was still up. There's also a message from Philip Wood on the plane as well, but we haven't really corroborated it to the point where I'm comfortable with it. But it is pretty interesting. He talks about how it's hard to breathe. There's your link for the 4chan picture if you want, and you can read about it if you want. That's where I have it right here. We have rebunked that picture against the Mick West debunk, which like he had 7 points, I think, and we were able to debunk I think 5 of them, and the only 2 that were left were subjective anyway, claiming that it was easy to fake. And the sketchiest part about it was after we rebunked it, he commented in my post. And he has me blocked, so I couldn't see his thing, but somebody mentioned it. And I went and looked, and he didn't even like argue against any of the points. He just repeated the assertion that it would be easy to fake. That was it, which is really weird because like to me that's like a legal response, right? Somebody who's having like an emotional response is gonna have like a little meltdown, like a lot of the people that that try to defame me and stuff like that we argue with. But his response was more of like, I don't want to go to jail. Like that's the kind of response that I got from, like I figured from him, is that he didn't want to get caught down in a lie, right? Where he could be proven to be lying about it. Because if he just makes an opinion, then, it's not a legal thing, which is the thing about Mick West is he's not an idiot. It's clear he's a smart guy. And that's the reason why, like, I think he's sketchy in general. Like, he's too smart to be this dumb is really what it comes down to, right? So there's no way he's looking at these videos and he's going, yeah, that's obviously too fake for me to look at. He's too smart for that, right? Which is why, like, his cultists, who I call them, like, they're literal cultists of his, like, they need to wake up, man. You're following a false prophet. Wow. Okay, guys, this is looking pretty good. I mean, I think we can add some stuff tomorrow, but oh, the passengers. What were we gonna say about the passengers? God, what were we gonna say? I thought somebody said something. I think tomorrow the plan will be to go through every point and just make sure we've got them all, and then go through any of my other works that are potentially newer ones that we might have that we might not have gotten. Texas Instruments. I think what we can say here is families of the victims never believed the official story. It's all speculative, of course, but whatever. Of course, it's speculative. I don't know what happened to the passengers. Interestingly enough, true story, the blocking from Mick West predates these videos. I had seen him post a bunch of fake debunks. Like that's what he always does. And I think I was the one where he was trying to argue like the DoD Navy ones, what he loves to try to argue. I just asked him on Twitter if he's paid by the government, and he just wouldn't answer. And then I asked him like, how does he make money? Because like he doesn't have a job. So how do you make money without a job? And especially when you live in like an expensive area. I won't say where I think he lives, but you live in an expensive area in the country. You haven't had a job in 15 years. You run a website that you're paying for as well. That definitely doesn't make any money. Metabunk does not make money. He doesn't monetize his YouTube, and then like people like send me some like pre-recorded YouTube video where they claim he addresses it. He doesn't address it at all. It's all like his other addressing. Like the same thing with the Wikipedia sock puppet thing. He just makes a claim that's clearly bullshit. We're like, oh, I was just switching my account to switch to my real name. Like, no, you got caught and banned because you were using multiple accounts. It's like, oh, but no, now I'm just going to use my real account from now on, so it's all fine. Like, what? So, like, all his stuff's like that. And so, like, even the thing about, it's like, oh, he just made a bunch of money off the Tony Hawk video games and he never needs to work again. Like, the one thing I know about rich people is that they never get tired of money. The idea that, like, he's not making any money is complete horseshit. I would almost 100% guarantee, speculatively, of course, that he's an influencer paid by the government, right, to influence people. I would be surprised if he's not. Let's just leave it at that. We know that the government's paying people to influence people. That's not even a question. So why wouldn't they be paying him, right? Did we put the thing about the official times? All the times before we're at 2:40 a.m. Where do we put that? The early reports of the next day had the plane losing contact at 2:48 or at 1840 UTC. Where do we put that? Maybe we put that in why it's MH370. That's probably where we put it, huh? No, we'll put it in the flight path here. Yeah, we'll put that there. That's a good one. Does it make sense to ask public for any leads? I mean, I put my email out there. People have emailed me. I mean, I've gotten stuff. I just don't report everything out that I get to you guys. Like this part about the families, the victims all going silent. Like I have reason to believe that some people have been like told to be quiet. It's not anything I've run with, but it's out there. Oh, we didn't put the general out here. I don't know if we should really like burn the general that hard, but I think we'll make a comment about it. Let's add it in other pertinent information. I don't know. I respect the military. I don't really enjoy calling military people out because the reality is like they have reasons in their mind why they think that covering this stuff up is important. And there's definitely national security implications. There's no doubt. We talked about that with Salvatore Pius. But like I keep telling people, and they shouldn't have done it to MH370. And shouldn't let and they definitely shouldn't have been recording it on 2 videos. Oh, I want to put in here. I think we're going to add another category here. We're going to absolutely just completely go at Reddit and the UFO subreddit. These people deserve it more than anything. They've been trying to ban me and everything else. Well, I told you guys what would happen. If they're listening right now, I told you guys what would happen. You thought I was joking around? You thought I was never going to get on any big podcasts, huh? Well, when I blast you guys in front of 1 million people, we'll see. We'll see who's laughing. We're going to absolutely systematically destroy the U.S. disinformation complex. I spelled manufactured wrong. They shouldn't attack me with so many weirdos, because now it just made me more inclined to exploit or tell people exactly what they do. Forum slide. We're going to grab some definition. I mean, I don't even need definitions for the first two. This one, though, I took a definition down for forum sliding. I'm just reading, hold on. Oops. So this is, so it also, and this is only half of it. The forum sliding with respect to Reddit has to do with, like, if you have a bunch of content up there that's like telling the truth and you don't want it to be there, then you bot upvote a whole bunch of stuff that's fake. And then in the comments, same exact strategy, right? So in the comments, you post fake comments, you post those to the top. People don't see the stuff that's buried down to the bottom. That's the forum. That's how you slide the content you don't want people to see. And that's essentially what they did with the debunk too. Manufactured consensus. And actually, we'll just let all these play into one another, which is the way that this, I think, works really well. Maybe we can put social contagion at the bottom. Actually, this actually helps me work on my disinformation piece, frankly. Because this is what my disinformation piece is going to be, is basically these. Let's see. Use sock puppets to post fake content and have it upvoted. Social contagion. Fake content spreads through word of mouth and peer pressure. Individuals, what is it, co-opt or adopt beliefs without knowing the source. So that's how it works, right? So manufactured consensus is you bot upvote a bunch of whatever fake content you want to be at the top. And when I say fake, I just mean it's manufactured, which means that it can be real based on real things, but the idea is that's what you want people to believe and think is real and what is to be true. And of course you have to censor as well. I wonder if we should have a thing about censorship as well. Narrative control. Yeah, let's do narrative control next. So you have to upload that. You have to make sure you censor everybody who's telling the truth and ban them under like false pretenses, because otherwise the truth ends up breaking down the brainwashing. Use forum sliding for anything that you can't censor to make sure that your fake content and what you want people to believe is at the top. So with respect to these debunks, that's why if you go look at the threads, you see all these people going, "Thank God that's been debunked. Oh, that's been debunked. That's been debunked." That's not like, those are just opinions. That's not substance. And that's how the forum sliding portion works. And then people don't see the stuff that's real because it's been pushed down, right? Let's do simple comments. Yeah, see, so it brings them from the top to the bottom. Yeah. And then social contagion works because people are just, a lot of people I've talked to, they don't even know. They'll just say, oh, those videos are fake. Weren't they fake from some video game? They don't even know where it comes from. Because other people just told them, they talked to them in Discord about it, whatever. They'll say, oh, the MH370 videos, those are a video game. And next thing you know, that person adopts it as their belief, even though they don't know where it came from. So this is like how disinformation works, right? And this is why Reddit is possibly the #1 source of disinformation on the planet today. And radicalizer too, because the side effect of this is that people get radicalized because they think that the fake stuff that they're hearing is true. And they adopt it as their own belief. So what happens when the person goes the social contagion route and now they've adopted those beliefs as their own? Well, once you try to tell them the truth, it's easier to fool someone than to think that they've been fooled. So what happens when somebody who's been told a lie gets told the truth? They get angry. And that's how you get domestic terrorists. That's how you get people who, get radicalized, is that they think that, oh, anyone who goes against them is like an enemy, right? And then they'll even think that they're an enemy of the truth. But the reality is, if someone's told a lie, you don't get angry at it. The only time people get angry is when they get told the truth. Yeah, that's a good one as well. Another analogy, like crypto bots, where people, oh, I make $20,000 a week doing this, and they think, oh, well, that's got to be really, that's got to be really smart, whatever, and go do that. And that's a form of brainwashing too. The crypto movement in general is a little bit sketchy in my mind. I think there is a grassroots movement there in crypto, but you gotta be careful that you're not getting stuck in a pyramid scheme or anything like that. If something seems too good to be true, it almost certainly is. So just be careful about that, guys. That's probably good enough for tonight. I'm probably gonna pass out. We did a lot of good work here tonight, guys. Thanks for your help. I mean, really, it's nice to have people there that are around and are helping make sure we get all the stuff on there today. Let's look at the bottom few pages and just make sure we didn't miss anything essential, right? The narrative stuff I'll probably move to a separate page. We're going to get rid of this. Oh, Rolls-Royce. Interesting. We should probably move the Rolls-Royce stuff somewhere. We already talked about the hoaxer never finding the plane. The relations, this thing's kind of speculative. And this turn or whatever, I don't think that's really anything either. This whole impossible turn, I don't think makes any sense. We already got this, we did this, we got the shadows. The Rolls-Royce stat, I think we want to put in other. And we can move this stuff around, but the flow is pretty good right now. This should say... Where's the other data? The Rolls-Royce thing's pretty weird. Like, they should have had the data that would be able to corroborate the stuff. Okay, actually, it was 2014 when he was in charge. We did that, we did that. Why is it filming? Maldives, we did all that. Trajectory of the orbs, I don't think we need any of this. That was some Punjabi Batman stuff. Who, I think Punjabi Batman's legit, and the reason why I think he's legit is that I don't agree with everything he's done. I think he's just a normal person that makes mistakes and does get some information that is real. But you know, if I'm expecting somebody to be like disinformation, I'm gonna expect them to be a little bit more like less human, right? The way disinformation works is quite a bit different than somebody who's throwing out real data and then they throw out something else where they're just misguided, where they're just, you know, trying to solve it. Like I thought some of the stuff he gave us, like he's probably one of the biggest contributors to our case. But we didn't follow a lot of his stuff either, where I didn't find it to be very credible. Like even the Maersk, Alabama like cargo stuff is just, there's not enough connection there. Like they even might be real. Like those two guys who got killed or whatever, like I don't think they overdosed, but it's too hard to connect it to MH370. Oh, Regicide defending the veracity of the videos. That's interesting. We need to add that down here. I don't know if we need that part, just by later uploaded per later upload videos. Okay, let's see here. A UFO Lodge site? I think what that means is forum, right? See, right here. This is actually a translation from Spanish. He had a harsh discussion with other users regarding the veracity of the videos. He's certainly not telling them they're fake, so he had to have been arguing with them about them being real, right? I don't know. The rest of this stuff is complete nonsense. It's just like one guy's opinion. Jeff Wise, we've decided he's not credible anymore, but some of the stuff that he says probably accurate. I think he's just misguided. The fact that he broke away from the independent group probably gives him more credibility, but the fact that he goes to McWest thinking that McWest has any answers definitely destroys his credibility. I mean, like, dude, you're supposed to be the MH370 expert and you're asking McWest for advice? Like, what? That was super weird. That was one of the weirdest things ever when we saw him asking Mick West to join his podcast. What? If Jeff Wise wanted to be legit, he should have come to me and asked me to be on his podcast. Then people might have watched. Ba-boom. That's just me dunking on him. Sorry, Jeff. Nothing personal, buddy. This is an interesting part. No one can figure out why the pilot wanted to turn the satellite data off or on, but I'm not sure I'd even trust the satellite data at all is the issue. Kate T saw the plane with no navigation lights, which indicates that there was no power. So I don't even believe the satellite data stuff at all. Yeah, the Game of Thrones thing was funny as hell. It was only like, it's just really long. I was sitting there last night watching it and I'm like, oh boy, how many comments am I going to have on Twitter by the time I finished it? And you know, because I'm getting so many notifications now, I can't keep up anymore. And I like to try, but it's just too hard. What is this? Oh, I caught up. I'm not even sure I'm actually keeping up on the messages. I think it just stops alerting me after I get too many. Sorry, I'm checking real quick. At least 25,000 views already on the cover-up video of that guy, of the defense minister. It's only been 5 hours. Who's he talking to? What is this guy? I don't know. Oh, yeah. Thanks for posting the thing here. I wonder how many people we even have watching right now. I mean, this is just a random stream. Let me see. 40 viewers, not bad. I'm probably gonna have to make another post about, you know, people who act rude or condescending are gonna get blocked, because people seem to keep forgetting that. I don't know why people consistently feel like they can just be D-bags in my replies. But man, that's a bizarre interview. Bizarre. Okay. Let me check a couple of these real quick. Nice. Somebody offering to animate some stuff. Oh. People are apparently talking about me in a better Reddit. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go to bed too. I think, yeah, it's dropped off a bit, but we got, I think, what we needed here done. Let's delete this stuff. We don't care about this Jeff Wise stuff. We talked about Jorn. I just want to make sure I keep this Jorn stuff. I need to post this somewhere else real quick. Okay, we can delete this. Wait, what the hell? Investigators said the MH370 search will be postponed. Oh, we might have to look into that. Oh yeah, none of the ELT beacons activated on crash. We should do that. Huh. Why it didn't crash? We need to add that. That's a good one. These actually only activate when the plane crashes, so those even wouldn't even been. Those should have actually still been activated. I assume Ben is making a joke. I don't know, man. If not, I'm not sure what you're saying. What I will say is I wouldn't make fun of the science, man. It's I think it's probably going to end up being legit. So, unless you want to look silly. Investigators denied that Rolls-Royce sending the engine data. I mean, that's obviously nonsense. We did that. Ooh, forgot about this one. Some social media sites had the passengers still being online. That's weird. Let's take that. We need to add that in there too. I'm glad I didn't forget some of this. We're gonna go to sleep. We're at like the end there. We're gonna go to sleep right after this. I mean, I am. You guys can do whatever you want. Oh, you're just being spiritual. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Huh. So RF frequencies used for cell communication do not penetrate water. That's the explanation. I'm going to post this. So actually, I think we've seen him around. What's this about? Delete this. Okay. Investigators knew the underwater signals were false. I think this was when they found those false pings, but it doesn't even matter. Oh, this is interesting. They took the search off, and they knew they were searching in the wrong way, so the perpetrators would have no reason to fear any discovery. It's an interesting thought. Anyway, that's all the rest of the evidence. So tomorrow, I don't know, we'll probably do a little bit of the theories and update these. These are way off now. The theories have changed quite a bit since then. And maybe update the passenger stuff, go through the rest of this. But this is looking legit. Like, I'm pretty ready for whatever the next podcast is with all this evidence. So how long is it? Let's take a look. Starts up here. I'm going to get rid of the summary for now. I might bring it back. We could add more pictures too, but I'm not sure. Yeah, consciousness is definitely the missing link, man. I mean, sure. I'm with you guys on that. I'm glad you guys enjoyed listening to the investigation and what we're working through. It helps give me a drive too. It's hard for me otherwise to go through all this. It takes a long time, as you guys can tell. So it's at least 10.5 pages right now, and that's without the theories. Otherwise, it's 13 pages long already. So it's a lot. It's a lot, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen. Okay, sleep time, y'all. Thanks for coming here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for asking questions. And thanks for being part of the investigation. The real story of MH370, the greatest conspiracy, largest verifiable conspiracy of all time. Let's chat again tomorrow, guys. Hit me up on Twitter. We will be in touch. Peace.